Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you for coming back. I'm Jules. I hope you're all having a great week. I hope you got a lot of stitching done. I definitely did, and got a lot to talk to you guys about today. Super excited. I want to thank you guys for all the support you've been giving me for the last 8 years, 9 years. I forgot to tell you guys, I had like a channel anniversary or something that just happened. Although I do think that my first FlossTube is March of, what year is this? 24 would be March of 15. That's crazy. But I mean, I've done like 500 videos or something crazy like that. But anyway, you guys have seen a lot. If you've been here for even just 3 or 4 years, you've seen a lot of changes on the channel. And if you've been around for a long time, I thank you guys so much. And for all the new folks that are here, welcome. Thank you guys too for coming along. So I've got a lot to go over. So I'm going to talk about, and I just had back surgery a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to talk about that at the end. So if you don't want to hear about that, you don't have to. It's okay. It's totally fine. So I'm going to start off by talking about the progress that I've made this week. All right, so there's 3 projects. I do 3 like this. You guys do that? That's hard. I do 3 like this. So let's see, which one shall I show you first? I'm just going to start with the old frog. Now, the mini frog, for whatever reason, I'm like, I have got to finish the mini frog. And part of it is I kind of want to just see for myself just how it looks. I've had some ups and downs as far as how I felt about it in terms of, does it look as good as it should? Do I need to adjust it in any way? So I'm just like, I'm going to stitch it myself, which is a really, 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 really long way of like trying to make sure that it looks good. I mean, like you guys, sometimes I stitch fast, but in the last so many years, I am a slow stitcher. Let's see, which way is right side up? All right. And the funny thing is that I'm stitching this one completely different than the way I normally stitch, because I normally start in the upper left, and then I kind of like reading a book. Well, not really like reading a book, but kind of start from up top and then just kind of work my way down. I started from the bottom left, which I know some of you guys do that too, and so that's totally cool, but it's just funny when I don't do something. But it was the only edge of the pattern where the stitching actually came to a proper 90-degree angle there, so a proper edge. I always get this, I get this question a lot. You guys are always worried, or not you guys, but some people are worried about these hoop marks that are in here. And I promise you that if you keep this out of your hoop, like in a couple of days, these go away. And they certainly go away when you wash them. So you're not going to damage the fabric if you leave the hoop in. But this is, actually, I think I've had this in the hoop for the last 3 months, possibly, but it'll come out. You'll see eventually when I get there. So I am, wait, I wrote it down, but I can't see it. I am 45% of the way through this thing now. And mostly what I focused on was just kind of filling in a lot of these dark colors down here. But I am working my way up. I want it like, where's his little eyeballs? So I think one of his eyes is kind of there and the other one's like there. So it's not going to take too much for me to kind of start migrating up around here. But honestly, I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's like all of a sudden it's going to be done. And you guys are going to be like, wow, that was fast. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. You know it wasn't. All right, this morning, what I've been working on, actually last night and this morning while I've been working on, because I'm like, oh man, I love my monochrome projects so much. It's like I love them, but there's probably a fair amount of you guys that feel sometimes the way that I do. I'm sure there are, that it's kind of daunting. You're like, oh man, I want to stitch on the black and white, but just there's so much to do. Like, you know, you're looking at a black and white like that versus these color ones. And by the way, the desk is messy. These were the ones that I could bring down. So now that I'm restricted in how much I can pick up and do. And so a lot of my stuff, a lot of my finished patterns are up above here. So it's just not safe for me to like reach up and do it. And it's something that, you know, I'm trying to learn as I get older, because even with my back surgery, it's something that I probably would have done, but I'm trying to be smarter and not hurt myself and not be silly. So anyway, so these are the small ones that I could bring down and show you guys. But anyway, so the monochromes can be daunting, but I just gotta tell you guys, just you know, it's not as daunting as you think, and I really enjoy doing the monochromes. Whenever I get back to it, I'm like, why have I stopped doing these? Because the joy of just never having to switch colors. All you're doing is just kind of switch and floss. Like just, you know, get your thing of floss and do it, and then get your thing of floss and do it. It's really nice. But let's see, which side is it? Because it looks the same front and back pretty much. So I've got the little mini gnome, and he's coming along well. I'm finally down to starting to work on his eyes. I think I got about 400 stitches done on him between last night and this morning. I wanted to get more done, but I forgot this morning when I got up that that was something that I wanted to do. So, and that will happen to you when you wake up. It's, what was it, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then you go back to bed at 7, and you get back up at 9. Surgery, crazy. So there he is, and he is at 22%. And I just crossed under, he's like 60, well, really, if you round up a little bit, it's like 7,000 stitches to go. But this next bit I'm working on are his eyes. So I really hope that he starts to pop like crazy. And the fabric that I'm stitching him on is just like this off-white, kind of tannish. It might even be like bone colored. Although I would say bones aren't like this, but anyway. And then I like stitching half stitches, 10 stitches. That's a personal preference. All the patterns that I do basically just call for full cross stitch. You don't have to do a 10 stitch. I do 10 stitches on these black and whites because I feel like they still look really good in 10 stitches. And especially from a distance, like you can't tell. And I finish in half the time. So, hey. So this is, I think, 25 count fabric, which is, I think it's like my favorite for the monochrome, although I may do a 20 or a 22 coming up. We'll see. But anyway, so but you zoom in. Hold on, can you zoom in and see? Ooh, let me just get that way too close. You guys can see it's like a half stitch, right? I'm sorry about the light. You'd think that all the times that I've talked about how bad I have the lighting in here that I'd fix it. I'm really not there yet, because really just the last 3 or 4 days I've felt good enough to really start physically doing some things. But again, we'll get to that at the end of the video. So we got so that's coming along. And I'm not sure, okay, I'm gonna hold off until the end, but I'm not sure, I'm hoping to get that one done. Let's see, what is it? Like the end of, I definitely like to get it done by the end of March. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know me and shiny objects and getting distracted. All right, put your leg down, Julie. You're not supposed to do that. And then finally, Rainy Waterloo Place. I stitched on this baby so much. Let me show you first where I'm at. Oh, can I pull it? Okay, I'm gonna try and scoot back a little bit. I can't quite see it. There we go. So, I don't know how well you can tell how much I've done, but I've done a fair bit. I mean, I'd say at least 500 or 600 stitches this past week. I focused on, one thing that I did was, because of the way that it's stitched, especially up here, like I didn't have this section blocked off in my pattern keeper. So I went back in and kind of highlighted it. So some of the progress that I've made, like via pattern keeper, isn't real, but, and this one is, look at that, I got floss right in the front. And this one is full, this is, I want to say it's 14 count fabric. When I first started stitching, and I first started stitching this thing like 5 years ago, when I first started doing that, that was what I wanted to stitch these cross-stitch collectibles on. This fabric is so well worn, it's just absolutely crazy. But where am I out at this? 85%, and probably a little bit higher, because I just, I don't have everything highlighted on Pattern Keeper that I have here. So, but yeah, this one is definitely going to be a 2024 finish, which will be absolutely amazing to finally get that one done. I know that's been a favorite of people's for a very long time. All right, so that's the stitching progress that I've had this week. It's only really been the last 3-4 days max that I've actually felt comfortable enough to stitch. When I said I got a lot of stitching done, that was in comparison to like the last month, when it was so uncomfortable to sit down that I couldn't really get much done. And especially in the last like 2 or 3 days, things have progressed enough that I am actually sitting on this chair without any kind of cushion or anything. I am wearing my my belt, my brace, my back brace. But I could actually sit here and not wear my back brace, so that's okay. But I'm finally comfortable enough to actually sit for a while. So will I be able to do a stitch with me soon? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. But it's definitely, this is the best that I've felt in a long time. All right, so let's talk about patterns that have recently gone up, haven't quite gone up yet. I'm going to use the awesome technology of showing you guys the different things that are up. Last week when I showed you guys quite a few patterns, not everything was up yet. Why is my hair doing that? Not everything was up yet. How about I do this? Proof level. There we go. That could be a good thumbnail, but it won't be. I don't think. That'd be funny if it was. There were a few that I didn't have on the list well, there were a few that I had on the list that never got published in time. The Carolers was one of them. It's a decent sized full coverage. No, it's not full coverage. It's a decent sized project. I really want to have that one out before the end of the year, like during the holiday season, but it just didn't happen. Part of it was because when I am designing, I'm trying to make, depends on the pattern, but I want to make a pattern that, you know, if I make a pattern this big with like it's huge, it's like as big as the screen, I could make a pattern that large with 150 colors, right? That you look at and you're like, that's beautiful. But can I make the pattern like 60% with 40 colors and it still looks like really, really good? Like really good. I would prefer to do the 60% or whatever, because, I mean, just like Rainy Waterloo Place, that probably could have been made, you know, I mean, I know that those products can be made smaller with less colors and it would have gone faster. So, I mean, I think we all understand the goal is how many finishes can I get? When can I get these things done? I just want to stitch more, finish more, you know? And although I still haven't framed. You guys know me. You know me. So anyway, so connect charger. Uh-oh, I'm about out of charger on my tablet. I've been struggling with the with getting things charged because the way I have it set up right now, and I need to, when my husband gets home, I need to set this out a little bit better, but I can't bend over. Like I can't, you know, reach plugs that are, you know, basically below like my waist. I can't reach them. So I have this little plug this USB that plugs into the back of this light. It doesn't charge super fast, but it does charge. And I find that I'm in a race constantly between keeping my phone charged or keeping my tablet charged or, you know, whatever. So, all right, let me pull up. Actually, I'm just taking a look at does anybody else just like pull up their list of pattern keeper stuff and just look at it and go, yep, I got a lot of stitching to do, a lot of stitching. But anyway, oh, so Old World Map 2, I haven't worked on it because of the brain fog and the physical issues, but I should be able to get started back on that really, really soon. So I just didn't, I've thought about it a couple times, especially this past week, and I'm like, it's a lot of fabric to hold on to, and it's kind of involved to pull out the floss, and I'm just like, I didn't feel up for it. So that's why I didn't do it. But so I am behind. I'm gonna catch up. I'm absolutely catching up, kids. Totally catching up. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna pull up my my Etsy thing, my Etsy page. Also, stitchingjewelsdesign.com. You can find all my stuff on there, and that's where everything is. You guys paying attention to Nashville Market and all the stuff that's getting ready to pop out? It's pretty crazy. I really enjoyed my time at Nashville. It's like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, right before everything kind of went in my life. But boy, that was so necessary though. But it was such a high. It was such a great thing to do for myself at the time. And as much as I loved it, I don't know if I'll do it again. I don't know if, I feel like I'm like an online person. Like I'm an online person. And so it's like, I'm not a store person. I'm not somebody who's gonna like, I don't know. You guys know, I've talked about this enough, but that's kind of where I'm sort of at. Sort of where I'm at. All right, so let me pull up. Oh, we pulled up my website. Ooh. So let's pull up the carolers. If y'all remember. Come on, kiddos. 8 years later. So carolers, which I love. Yeah, actually, I remember I had a comment about this, that it was Norman Rockwell. It's not Norman Rockwell, actually. It's I tend to kind of semi-hide where I get stuff, just because I don't like for people to, I don't want people to copy what I'm doing. Not that I think that they could, but no challenge. And I'm not issuing a challenge, please don't. But yeah, this one's not Rockwell. And the one that was suggested, the name of the Rockwell one, this wasn't it. And so anyway, 8 years later. 8 years later. All right, and then I showed you guys the Last Supper just without the table. I showed you guys the Golden Tree of Life. Well, the other thing that I ended up doing, I did the Golden Tree of Life. I also did a mini Golden Tree of Life, people. So if you really like the Golden Tree of Life, there's a mini version, which, hold on, time out, wait for it, is about 130 by 130, and it has 24 colors. So that's not that big. That's not that big, kids. Oh, wait, did that say 24? Yeah. Oh, there you go. Get my face out of the way. But anyway, so there is a mini Tree of Life. So if you're interested in that pattern, but the bigger one kind of, I think the bigger one's like 2 something by 2 something. I can't remember. I don't want to go through all that in front of you guys while we're trying to do this, but anyway, but there's that. And so I'm pretty excited about that. I showed you guys everything else there. And I showed you guys the Steampunk owl, right? I wanted to show you that guy again. Whoa, where'd you go? Because there's some more steampunk coming. If you like steampunk animals, which I kind of do, I think they're kind of cool, because I have the fish one, but I have the Julie tablet. What are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? Let me go to my Etsy store. It might be a little easier. Da-da-da. There we go. Steampunk owl. But I have a few others I'm going to talk about at the end that you guys will be, I hope, excited to see. But there he is. There's the Steampunk, and he's on the store right now. So he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. Okay, hold on. I'll tell you guys at the end. I can't jump around like I always do, and like I'm still doing right now. So some new projects. Oh, and then the last one. I did actually also redo the Nations of Africa, the mini Africa, or I redid Africa to make it a mini. Who's pulling up in front of my house? Nope, that was a mistake. Let's go over to African cross stitch. You gotta be here. Nations of Africa. Why are you not up? Ooh, I'm gonna have to go investigate that. Hey! 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 I'm recording a video here. The bird's still alive. So, anyway. Yeah. So, anyway, so there's that one. Sorry about that. I showed you guys the abstract woman one, right? I know I did, but I just want to show it to you again, because it's kind of like the Tree of Life, in that they're sort of designed to look like they're 3D. Like when you're looking at them, like it looks like there's some depth to it. And then the abstract woman you could almost say she looks like she's in a tree, but she's not. But that's another one where this is just black and white. It's just black on white. So, and you could use any color. You could use any color fabric you wanted to. I apologize. I feel like I'm just kind of rambling on today. All right, so some new patterns. Let's start with my Roman soldier statue, which when I saw this, I was like, it's kind of cool looking. It's the kind of thing that I like. I think it would stitch well on a lot of different things, but it's just neat. It's just kind of a neat, classy kind of, and I don't know, this could be like a Roman god, but I'm pretty sure it was labeled as a Roman soldier. So I was like, could he be like Mercury, or I'm not really sure because the hat or whatever he's wearing, the helmet, it's a little different, but it's a little different. Let's see how many stitches. He's about 12,000 stitches, and how big is he? 185 by 240. So decent. I mean, I like that size roughly, but less stitching, I believe. So there's that one. And then I think I showed you guys, although I'm not sure if he's up yet, there's a little series of like a monochrome series that I need to finish, of course, of like people walking through like a path, like a, I don't know. Let me show you. This one is, originally I'd kind of designed it as the path taken. Is that what I called it? Path taken? Yeah, path taken. And so, but again, this is just kind of like a black and white. And so I really like that one. I like this one a lot because it just looks like somebody's sort of walking through like a tunnel of something. They got a backpack on or something, and they're just taking a hike or whatever. But as a monochrome, it works really, really well. I have another one that's closer to like looking like a tunnel. I think it's still sitting in my draft section, which I need to actually get that one finished. I may have shown that one to you guys before. Let me pull that up here. Yeah, there it is. I call this one Tunnel Walk. And why it's not published, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Where are you? There you are. But it's just not done yet. I don't know why, but that's the other one. I kind of like the first one better, but this one's pretty cool too. Pop goes the plastic bottle. Alrighty. What else we got here? I think that's it. That's it for stuff that's actually up, which is good. But there are more that are coming. So I wanted to kind of let you guys know. I got this little cheat sheet down here. So there is another, there are more steampunk animals coming. There's a giraffe that is in the queue for getting published, which looks really cool. There is a chicken. I think it's a chicken. Well, of course it's a chicken, but is it a chicken or is it a rooster? Pretty sure. I'm going to call it a chicken. And so there's a steampunk chicken, and there's a cat coming. I just kind of like the look of steampunk. I don't know what it, I still haven't stitched anything with it, but I have that steampunk fish. And so I might eventually like make like a bundle or something along those lines, just so that if somebody really likes the steampunk stuff, especially the black and white, that you can get all the steampunk stuff at a pretty good discount. So, but I may start to do that once I get, you know, a good 5 or 6 of them done and get them up there. So, but those are coming very, very soon. They should be up within the next week or so. Well, we'll see. We'll see. You know, you also know if you like any of my monochrome body organs, or, you know, I've done like, see, I did the ribs. I'm trying to remember what else I've done. I've done the ribs. Yeah, I can't remember what else I've done. I've got the brain monochrome coming. So it's based off of an old, like a, what do you call it? Anatomical design, anatomical drawing. So it looks a little bit more vintage. It's a vintage brain. And so that one's coming. And then the French girl stamp that I showed you guys last week, I finally finally submitted that, or put that into the queue for getting that listed. So that'll be coming soon. So that one's just taking me a while. Another animal that I have in black and white, as I have another penguin, but this one's more of a winter penguin. So I have some penguins, you know, a bigger, larger penguin thing. But if you like penguins, and that one's, the original penguin one was really big, but the new one is going to be really awesome. And so, like I said, I should have the pictures up here to show you guys, because I like doing that. I like adding those pictures. I think it adds to the videos, and it's just fun. It's fun when I go back and look too, like what have I shown you guys? Like, okay, here you go. So a lot of these that I'm talking about and showing you in, you know, like initially, they'll probably be posted, and it should be posted in the next week, but I'll talk about them again next week just to confirm that they're posted and everything. I'm saying a lot today. And then last up, for about to go up, I believe, And I think there's a few more, but these are the ones that I could actually like remember that were going up. You guys know I'm doing like a tarot card series. I like the tarot cards. I'm not into what is it, astrology, horology, whatever it is. I just like the look of the tarot cards, and so they're just fun to stitch, and I feel like, especially again for a series, I think it's a lot of fun. So I currently have published the Gemini, the Aries, and the Cancer, and two more that are submitted are Leo and Taurus. So those are submitted. And then I have Pisces that I've been sitting on for a while that I need to submit and get in the queue to get it ready to get listed. Part of it is, and this is how any kind of series goes, it's like you're using a series to, you want to make the whole series, but of the 12, is it 12? 10, 12, 11? I have no idea what these things really are. But some of them are better than others, but I want to put the whole series up. But then I have some other ones that are coming along, and these tarot cards are more like, it's almost like they're playing cards in a way. But there's some funny ones coming up that are not your classic like Aries, Gemini, and whatnot. They're more like skeletons doing fun things, I think. So anyway, so I got those coming. And again, that's another thing that when I get far enough along, that needs to turn itself into a set as well. So all right, so this video is long because I ramble. I gotta watch how I sit. Okay, so let's see, what else can I talk about? So I have actually been looking. I don't know if you guys have ever used Fabric Flare. Fabric Flare was introduced to me by the folks at Stitchery Express when I met them at Nashville Market, and I have yet to use Fabric Flare, but I really wanted to kind of try it out and just see how it felt. They have a lot of really awesome designs, and as far as the fabric is concerned, like the dyeing patterns and whatnot. And I feel like for especially my monochromes that there's a really like incredible partnership that needs to kind of happen with some of those. So there was please put it down below when you guys are going to know what I'm talking about, but there was and I think it was released when I was at Nashville Market. It was a Halloween pattern, and it was on like this smoky gray black kind of really cool looking fabric. And I should have done more research, I apologize, but it's on the Fabric Flare site, and somebody had done this really, really cool Halloween design on it. And I came across it again the other day, and I'm like, what would look great on that for that Halloween thing would be that new Monochrome Apothecary Shop. Be perfect for that fabric. So I have it in my head, I need to just get it, because if I don't get it, I'm afraid it's gonna like go away, and then it's, and then I'll be like kicking myself that I never got it. But I would likely, I need to just look at that. They've kind of they moved. They were on the East Coast, and they've moved to the West Coast, and they're in California now. And I think they finally kind of got themselves organized. And I don't know if they were like bought and sold, or I don't really know what the dealio is, but I signed up for their email list, and I've been getting their emails and looking through their stuff, and it's just really cool. It's just a lot of fun to kind of, you guys know how much fun it is just to look. So there's so much though, when I look at it, I'm like, well, this monochrome would look good here, and this monochrome would look good there. And that was what kind of got me like, hit myself in the head and going, start working on your monochromes, silly. Start working on your monochromes and use some really interesting fabric so that you can show folks like what's possible. So anyway, so I did that, and as far as that's concerned, but as you can tell, I feel really good. This is the best I have felt in months and months and months. I turned a corner the last 3 or 4 days, definitely, from my back. It's not to say that I still don't have back pain. I do, but it's something that I'm working through, that I have to let it's not much in the way of back pain. It's just the legs, as the nerves are sort of regenerating, healing themselves. I get various levels of foot pain, hip pain, leg pain, whatever. And so I find that the more I walk, that the better I do usually. Monday I actually did a whole, cumulatively for the day, I think I did like 2.3 miles, and I was hurting. I was hurting by the end of that day. My legs were a little heavy, and we ended up having a little bit of a snow squall yesterday, and so there was like ice and snow and whatnot. So I actually kind of gave myself the day off yesterday, which was the first day since I started the walking program that I didn't do a whole lot of walking, and I paid for it this morning. Like I'm definitely more, my legs hurt more today than they did yesterday, but I already had done about a 3/4 mile walk, and as soon as I finish this and I upload it, I'm gonna head back out and try and get a mile walk in. But it's been fun to get out and kind of, you know, do some stuff. I need to bring my headphones with me so that I can listen to something, because shiny object, it's hard to keep walking when you're just mentally distracted all the time. Believe it or not. And so, but yeah, otherwise, you know, the hardest part for me with the back fusion, and if you're interested in the back fusion, I have a channel that I talk about just the back fusion stuff, and it's for family and friends, and you know, to kind of keep up with what's going on. And I also like really want to document this process for myself. When I had my neck fusion, I've had 2 neck fusion surgeries. I didn't really document it, and I would have really liked to do that, because it would have been nice to see where things were at that point compared to now. I do think that the recovery from the neck surgery, at least, I think it was more difficult. I just didn't know really what to expect, and I just feel like it was scarier from a standpoint of, I had not been through anything like that before, and I'm like, what if I turn my head or do this or that, and if I'm not wearing my brace all the time, like, could I damage something? And because now I know with my back, there's like, how many screws? There's four screws, 2 screws, 4 screws in the front of my spine, and then there's like, and they're little ones to hold the cage in, and then look at that shadow, that's crazy. I gotta get the lighting fixed. But in the back there's like pedicle screws, so there's longer screws, there's 4. So in a cage, so I know it's like I'd have to really be dumb, and I cannot accept that challenge, because gosh knows I could mess it up, but I have to be really crazy in order to mess it up. So, but sleeping still can be difficult. I don't do the pillow between the legs well. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't feel right with my back and everything. So if I tuck a pillow behind my back, that makes me feel like I'm secure and everything's good. So I'm starting to figure those kinds of things out. But like I told you before, I can actually sit now for periods of time and actually stitch, which is huge for me. I wasn't sure when I'd be able to get back to stitching. I tried it in like the recliner and this and that, but I could just never get comfortable sitting for the first like 10 days. So I'm finally at that point, and I'm really at this right now with this, I'm almost at the point where I have to get up and start walking, because I can just feel my body is like, just get up and walk. But I want to finish this video first. So the recovery's going well. Mentally, I'm doing a lot better. I definitely turned a page the last couple of days. I think the last regular like opioid type pain medication I took was a week ago, a little over a week ago, and I think I've had 1 or 2 since then, just when I've been trying to go to, like, if I'm walking a lot, or for whatever reason I'm just hurting by the time I get to bed, because maybe I didn't keep up on my pain meds well enough, keep up on my Tylenol and whatnot well enough. You know, I'll take that, but it doesn't affect me the way that it did the first week when I was taking it all the time. So today I really feel today like very optimistic and excited. I feel like my old self, you know, I feel like my old self of like 4 years ago. And I really hope that I can continue to bring that level of enthusiasm to what I'm doing and into my life, basically, that I had for, you know, and it's just a matter of getting through not just the physical pain of dealing with the back and the legs and everything, but all the emotional, mental, and everything that I dealt with in for a long time, but really that came to a head in 2022, and then even the first part of 2023. I feel like 2024 is a truly like a new start, a new beginning for me. But I've got such a head start because of all the work that I've already done. So I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited to get things stitched that I haven't, that I've been trying to get finished for a long time. I'm excited to see what I can do on Old World Map 2. I'm excited to see like where the business will go and the websites and just everything. Like I said, there are plans. There are things that I want to do this year that I can't tell you guys about yet that I'm really excited about, that I really hope comes to fruition, but I can't talk about. And so because I'll talk about it and then I'll get distracted and then I won't do what I'm supposed to do, which is stitch and put out patterns, which is really my focus. It has been my focus now for the last couple of months. So what else can I talk about? That my husband is the greatest guy ever, that he has been a rock through this whole thing, that I could have done it without him, but I can't imagine doing it without him. Like I lived my whole life until I was like 40 whatever 3 without that level of having somebody like being there for me all the time, and to have somebody in my life that is just there, that he is always going to be there, and he's just a rock in a good way. He's like a cuddly rock that I just want to hold. And so but he's been awesome during this. I mean, he's been so patient with me and just so brilliant through this whole thing. So he's awesome. But you guys already knew that. I've been talking about him for years. Years and years to go. What else is going on? You heard the bird. The bird is the word. Topher, I think, is sitting down or laying down behind me. He is very disappointed in my inability to take him for a walk when I go for a walk, but I can't take him out on my walks because I can't 100% trust that nothing would happen, that he wouldn't see somebody and want to jerk and run off when I'm holding the leash, and that would be very bad. Or if a dog came up to him, it's just asking for trouble. So we're not doing that yet. What else is going on? I think that's it. I'm going to pause for a second and just think so I can make sure that I don't miss anything. All right, I needed that break to kind of recenter my thoughts because you guys know how that is. Was it a couple of years ago? I started using these cones, these DMC 310 cones that I adore, because that way I don't have to worry about going through all these different skeins. I can just use this on my monochromes. And I had a thing where I was like going to write down what I worked on or what I finished using a cone. And I was like, I wonder if this one, this one has the monochrome owl, which I don't have visible. I actually don't even have framed yet. I finished that 10/15/22. Did I finish it or did I start it? That I don't remember. But anyway, so this I've used the monochrome owl. I've used this on the monochrome owl, and then I'll have the gnome on this one. I actually have 2 of them though, and I've actually been using both of them, and I can't right now tell you where the other one is. It's probably downstairs in the other room where I have sometimes done some stitching. But anyway, I love these things, and so you can get them. Joann's is probably maybe your best bet. They do the coupons. You can have like a coupon or whatnot, but I've also bought them on Etsy because they have different sizes. Like this one is it's 500 gram. Where's does this have the gram on it? I don't think this actually is labeled with the gram size. It's not. It's like a length kind of a thing. Is it 425 meters? Oh, it's 100 gram. So they do make larger ones. So I'll have a link down below to those as well, if you guys are interested in that. If you're using one particular color a lot, I gotta tell you, these things really come in handy. It's really, 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 really nice. So hey, maybe that should be my goal, that I actually use one of these up this year, if not both. I don't know. My goals are ridiculous, basically. So the last thing I wanted to say was, let's see, it's been 2 weeks since 2 weeks yesterday. 2 weeks today, I was still in the hospital post-surgery, but 2 weeks from yesterday was my actual surgery. So I'm beginning my 3rd week beginning my 3rd week. And so, things are going well. This is really where I think things are going to start to kick in, and the healing is going to start to really help and really matter. I'm not going back to work for at least another couple of weeks. You know, I'm still sleeping a lot, taking a lot of naps throughout the day. Most days I get like a couple of naps in and then still sleep. Well, my sleeping schedule is all messed up right now, but when I'm tired, I will sleep. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is or whatnot. I let myself sleep. And so I can't really do that at work. And the most important part of the healing, I think, is this first 4 to 6 weeks or so. So I want to really make sure that I'm not putting myself in positions where I might be tempted to do more than I should. So I miss work. I miss work very much, but it's a slow period right now at the place where I work now. So it's not like it's like they need me back right away anyway. But I really started to think about it more and more, and I'm getting excited to go back. But it's gonna be a while before I can be like full bore crazy me. But I'm hoping by like August I can be crazy me, and that'll come faster than you think. My husband and I are like 2 weeks in surgery. This is insane. Like it seemed like it took forever for surgery to actually come, you know, because I think we had everything scheduled like 2 months out, and that just took forever to get here. But now I'm like, man, this is flying by, which is great. But yeah, anyway, so I'll probably be home for the next couple of weeks, which really gives me a chance to get a lot of stuff done. I need to start keeping track of how many patterns I'm putting up on the store this year. I have some goals, and one of the goals is just how many patterns can I put up. So I need to actually have this whiteboard back here that I have a lot of my private goals on it, and I'm not letting you guys see that because it's private. So anyway, yeah, that's yeah, I want to do that because with the help of the amazing Daphne, patterns are going to hopefully really start flying up on the stores, and there's just going to be a lot more stuff to see, a lot more stuff to stitch. You know, you're like, I've never seen a pattern like this to stitch before in my life, and here you go. That's what I want to do. You know, I just want to do it. I just want to do so much. All right, so speaking of that, I'm going to stop this video because I've been talking for a really, really long time, and I need to upload this and go for my walk. So all right, guys, go stitch. Whatever you're doing, stop what you're doing, go stitch. If you're not stitching right now, go get your stuff and stitch, all right? Just stitch all day. It's all good. Cannot guarantee any more videos this week, but yes, I would like to do more videos. I would like to do a stitch with me. I would like to do something else. Will I get it done? It just kind of depends. You guys know me. So, all right. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you very soon.